Welcome back to Perkins Pipes. It does seem only right that I should be wearing my IU apparel, Indiana University apparel, and that I should have out my most beautiful pipe, this gorgeous RBC meerschaum, because of what I'm going to talk about today, the first date with, and what I love about, my wife. Folks, let's get this guy lit. Let's get to talking. And in the bowl, I've got this delightful Lane RLP6. So, I apologize. I am looking for my tamper. Oh, there it is. Had some other things out here on the deck. I was working on another book. Talk to you about that one at another time. But I kind of lost place of my tamper there. Well, I'm recording this at another time, but this video is coming out on Valentine's Day. So it seemed appropriate that I might say a few words about my wife. So I met Melissa as a sophomore at Indiana University, second semester. She and I were in a class on Latin prose composition, which is a class on learning how to write in Latin. And very quickly, she and I, a fellow named Gary, who went on to become a classics professor, and another student named Holly, formed a study group on Sunday nights. And we would meet at one of the dorm rooms or someplace, work on the homework, and our professor, who at the time was the chair of the classical studies department at Indiana University, a fellow named Jim Halporn, he encouraged us to do that. In fact, he said, call me at home if you have any questions. So we would get together, we would study on Sunday night. Very often we would call Professor Halporn with questions. And it got to be the point where he would refer to us in class as the committee. And he would say, what does the committee have for this one? Well, I noticed her, and then I noticed that she would be sitting outside the classroom on the days when we had class. There would be another class immediately prior to ours, and I would get there, and she'd be sitting outside the class, and I would say hi to her. Always thought it was kind of neat that she was sitting out there, and then come to find out later, she was sitting out there for a reason, and it wasn't just to get a good seat in class. So I worked up the nerve to call her up, ask her out. Now you have to understand, I had a full ride scholarship, 4 years, fully paid, to Wabash College. Excellent liberal arts college in Indiana, phenomenal classics department. And I turned it down. And I went to IU in no small part because Wabash at the time was a men's only campus. And you're saying, Steve, what were you, just that girl crazy? No, I did not have enough confidence in my game. I was worried that I would never be able to get a date if I went to an all-guys campus. Like, where am I ever going to get to meet a girl? So I went to Indiana University out of really a lack of confidence in my own romantic game. At the time, I had a friend named Dave in the dorm where I lived, and we had concocted this absolute foolproof plan for how to ask a girl out. We were geniuses, you see. We thought that if you ask a girl out on Thursday to go out for Friday night, that's a little too soon. If you ask them on as far back as Sunday or Monday, too much time for them to change their mind. So we thought Tuesday for Friday. That was our plan. Tuesday for Friday. You call a girl up on Tuesday, to ask the girl out for a Friday. I don't think I ever used that plan. That was our plan, and I don't think I ever put that into practice, and I certainly didn't with Melissa, as I recall. I think I asked her like on Wednesday for Friday. So I asked her out on a date. And she said yes. And the next words out of my mouth over the phone were, "Really?" We have laughed at that over the years. I was so surprised that she said yes. See, to me, she seemed above my level. And indeed she is. What I didn't know at the time was that she worked a part-time job in town at the prosecutor's office. So she would often come in dressed very nice, and I thought, whoa, here's this really nice woman, right? Not just a girl, but a woman. And boy, I was surprised that she said yes. So I didn't have a car at the time. She came to pick me up. And I didn't know at that time either that was a huge put off to her. She thought, who is this loser guy? Doesn't even have a car. I've got to go pick him up. I mean, this could have been doomed from the start. Except I turned it around when I said, where would you like to go to eat? So we're out there. I'll never get this. She's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. And she's looking to the left. We're going to make a left-hand turn. She's looking to the left, and she said, wherever you want to go. And I said, how about Red Lobster? Whoop! She turned around, snapped her head toward me. Red Lobster was, woo, hoity-toity. That was high-level stuff. Listen, for college kids, that's like fine Parisian cuisine, right? So we go to Red Lobster. Then we went to see a movie. And the film that we saw was the Morgan Freeman movie, Lean on Me. It's the story of the real-life principal, Joe Clark, who had turned around a failing inner-city high school in New Jersey. East Side High School, Patterson, New Jersey, if I remember that correctly. Which seemed appropriate, because we were both studying to be Latin teachers. So here we go to see an education movie on our first date. We got together again on Sunday evening, I think. Once not I had a study group. Or maybe it was the next day, Saturday. No, I think it was Sunday. At the house of a friend of hers. That friend's parents lived in the town of Bloomington. I guess they were out of town, so I had some people over, and so we went there to that. So that was our second date. And then from there, man, we were off to the races, as you say. Talked all the time. Now, this is long before the days of cell phones. So I would go to the payphone in the basement of my dormitory, which is called Reed Residence Hall, or the payphone in the main library. I would go to there and would call her. Now, we shared a home. We had suites. And so my roommate and I, and there was the next room, had two guys, and then in between was a little bathroom and a phone. So sometimes I called her from that phone, but hey, you got your buddies around. You don't want to talk to your girl while your buddies are around, so I'd go to the payphone and talk to her. We talked endlessly. Okay, a little bit of exaggeration, but we talked all the time. And we talked about education and private versus public and all the heady things that young people will discuss, and especially kids in college. And so we would talk and talk and talk. Had a wonderful time. Just fell in love. One of my favorite pictures of her I took of her out, just leaning up against the tree right outside my dorm. Still to this day, one of my favorite pictures. I can call it up in my mind instantly. And that was the second semester of that particular year. A few months later, in September of that particular year, so the fall semester, I asked her to marry me. It didn't take long. I'll never forget it. We'd gone to church that Sunday and decided to have a picnic lunch at Brown County State Park, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous state park in Indiana. Southern Indiana. And we had lunch. We had taken our books with us. We were going to study. And about the time we cleared up the picnic and we're getting ready to study, I popped the question with the ring. Needless to say, we did not study. We packed our stuff up, flew down to the next town, which is Bedford, Indiana, where her parents lived. And her mom still lives there. Her dad's passed away now. But anyhow, we went down and told them right away. And then we didn't get married until after we graduated. So we had a long engagement. And then we got married as soon as we graduated from college. So what is it about Melissa that I love? So, hey, this is Valentine's Day. Got some red on. Seems appropriate, right? Back then, I loved her because she's beautiful. I loved her because of her interest in education. An intelligent young woman. Had a lot of interest. Certainly not all. She did not enjoy hard rock and heavy metal, and I did. And she and one of her roommate, they went to the record store and looked up some Metallica albums just to have some album titles to know. And so in one of our calls, I feel like it was the Kill 'Em All album. But she mentioned it to me. I said, oh, really? You know about Metallica? And then so I start mentioning other stuff, and immediately the scam was up, man. She's like, I don't really know Metallica at all. I just looked up some album titles at the record store. Shared interest, obviously, attracted to each other, beautiful, smart, and shared ideas about the future, shared dreams. And we, like I say, we talked so much. I think that was a key thing early on, is we were very good friends. We were very, very good friends. And we'd become friends in that class before I asked her out, which was in March of that year. So we'd had a couple months of getting to know each other as just fellow students and friends. What I can say is, I had no idea what I was getting into. I joke with my guy friends that all men, if they're honest, who are married, marry up. Okay? We marry above our station. Almost by definition. And certainly that's true for me. Melissa is brilliant. I've watched what she has done professionally. She has taught. She has been a headmaster. She's worked with universities. I've watched her as a leader. I've watched her grow as a leader, not only of children, but of adults. And it's such a blessing and a delight to me when I hear other adults, especially parents of children, talking to me or saying to me what a wonderful teacher she is, what a wonderful educational leader she is, all that she brings to a classroom or a school. I love hearing those stories. I watched her grow intellectually. I said at the beginning, she's a very smart person, but I've watched her grow in her reading over the years. She reads voraciously. She always has at least one, if not a couple of books going at the same time. out in our living room or in the bedroom, and she's reading. So I've watched her grow, and I've watched her interest grow in the subjects that she reads, and she's a person I can sit and have a conversation with about ancient history and language and so forth. A deep person. I've watched her as a mother, which of course I couldn't have imagined in college. She homeschooled both of our children to where they both got accepted to Purdue University with presidential scholarships. She is the best educator that I know. Yes, I've been fortunate, blessed to have certain accolades that have not come her way simply because of the education circles that she has run in. And so I've ended up getting the accolades, but I want to tell you something. She is a better teacher than I am by far. And I watch her just with family. Our children, her mom, her dad when he was living, my parents, and especially my mother in the last couple of years of her life. Oh my goodness, did Melissa serve my mom? She would go over to my mom once a week, to my mom's independent living cottage. She would clean, help her with groceries, do her hair. My wife has to be the most giving person I know. And I watched her faith grow. Now, we went to church, like I say, we went to church the day that I asked her to marry me. So that's always been a part of our lives. But I have watched her faith grow. Melissa has what I like to call daily faith. I believe that I have saving faith. I have faith in Jesus for salvation. But too often, on a daily basis, I try to go it my own way, right? Typical man, you got to do it myself. Melissa never worries about things. She really doesn't. Oh, she can get stressed just like anybody else, but she really doesn't worry about things. She has that daily faith. Of course, she's a wonderful cook. And I'll tell you this right now. My wife's chili, my wife's pasta fagioli, there's some other kind of sausage minestrone. Ooh, these are good. I was never a big fan of chicken, honestly. I was never a big fan of chicken before. And she has done things with chicken that just makes me go bananas. I love her enchiladas, and she does a Thai curry chicken pasta thing. I don't know what the heck it is, but it's good. She makes our house a home. Simply put, she makes our house a home. She is, as I often say, not my better half, but my better 3/4. And I am deeply blessed to have been married to her for over 33 years at this point. And so over 35 years of knowing her and being in relationship with her. So, my friends, happy Valentine's Day to you and yours. Share a story if you want to, if you feel comfortable, about you and your beloved. Happy stories only, please. At least on this episode. Let's not go into heartbreak stories, all right? Let's go into happy stories. If you've been blessed to know that sort of deep, long-lasting, rich, loving relationship, we'd love to hear all about it. So, as Malcolm Guite likes to say, I do these little things in order at last to do nothing. Or as I like to say in Latin, Parva ago ut tandem, nihil agam. Have a wonderful day.